One of the craziest things about women that literally has blown my mind is the fact that their hormones go on a 28-day cycle and a man's hormones are on a 24-hour cycle, which basically means that the same ups and downs that men have on their one-day cycle, it'll take 28 days for a woman to do her version of that. And obviously there's some big major differences. This is only showing testosterone, and there's many different types of hormones that fluctuate on a woman's cycle. But it's crazy to me because I don't think very many guys know this at all, that even our cycle peaks in the morning and is lowest at night and then resets. But for a woman, it literally takes 28 days of peaks and troughs and ups and downs to be basically reset back to baseline, and you do it all over again. And this is definitely something that more guys should be aware of, especially the guys that are in relationship who can actually use this information to support their partner, make this a way better experience than what most guys do, which is like, I don't know, you get your period and then that's it. That's all they know. So what do you think about this? Do you think that more guys should be educated? Because clearly there's not much to educate here. It's whatever. But this, more guys should know about this.
I want to do a huge compilation video on how to cycle sync because this is so important, and unfortunately most of us weren't taught how to cycle sync. Most of us weren't even taught that we have 4 cycles every 28 days. That impacts the amount of energy that we have to get things done in our day-to-day. That impacts our mood, that impacts our appetite, and we're taught to function like men, and that's a detriment of our health. It becomes an effortless physical and mental burden that we carry when we don't know how our bodies function and how to support, how to optimize our functionality as women instead of trying to fit societal norms that don't support us. A lot of us don't have the privilege to actually rest when we're menstruating, when we're bleeding for several days straight, cramping, in need of more nutrients, in need of more rest. This is science. Our body needs more rest when we're menstruating. And most of us don't even have the privilege to do that. But even if you don't have the privilege, it's good to know and have in mind where you are in your cycle and what can support you for when you can support yourself and have that privilege to give yourself more rest, or at least give yourself more grace when your body's needing more rest. It's important to at least understand what's going on so you don't beat yourself up for just being a woman, for just being human in an inhumane system and structure that we're forced to call society. Pinned at the top of a comment, I'm going to leave chapters so you can click on whatever phase you're in and learn some tips from the girlies on how to best support yourself during each of these phases. I am not a licensed medical professional. I do advise to speak with a licensed medical professional before trying anything in case certain medications may clash with some of the things being suggested in these videos. I also link some experts and resources and books that are recommended by experts on this topic for you. So definitely check out the description. Lots of goodies in there waiting for you. Now let's get into it.
I had a ton of people ask me to share my cycle syncing notes for my last video, so here it is. If you're still wondering what cycle syncing even is, it's basically when you change your lifestyle and habits like your diet and your exercise to match the phases of your menstrual cycle. We have 4 phases in our menstrual cycle, and you can think of each phase as a season. So our menstrual phase is our inner winter, follicular phase is our inner spring, ovulatory is summer, and our luteal phase is fall. As you can see, in each quadrant, there are different foods and seeds recommended for each phase so you can better balance your hormones. There's also different exercises so you can work with your cycle instead of against it. Now, you might be asking, how do I know which phase I'm even in? The easiest way for me is tracking my period on an app called Orchid. Once you log in, it instantly tells you which phase of your cycle that you're in. This is what I've been using to figure out what phase I'm in so that I can write it down in my monthly calendar. I like to refer to these notes before I go grocery shopping for the week because as long as I know which phase I'm in, I can just look back at my notes and then try to pick up different foods from the list. And that's it! That was my Spark Notes version into cycle syncing, but I hope you guys were able to find it helpful. Please check the comments. I'm going to credit creators there and where you can find them for more information. They have in-depth videos that are super thorough and informative, so I highly, highly recommend you check them out. See you guys in my next video.
If you're one of the girls and you're on your glow up journey, this is the video for you. This is a friendly reminder that we are women. If you believe in the feminine and the masculine, the yin and the yang, balance and everything like that, consistency isn't our thing. Flowing, cycles, that's our thing. That's why sometimes we can struggle with consistency and doing the same thing every single day, whereas men can kind of like do consistency, whereas we wake up kind of different every single day. And there's something beautiful in that, but keep that in mind when you're trying to do consistency. Listen to your body every single day. Your cycle is not just when you bleed, it's for the full 28 days, month. So if you're one of the girls and you're getting like discouraged because you can't seem to wake up and work out every single day, think of it more so you just need to move your body every single day. And whatever that looks like for that day is fine. We're meant to try new things. We're meant to flow. We're meant to listen to our bodies. So do that. I hope that helps.
There's no published science on how seed cycling actually benefits a woman's cycle. Well, no duh, we've lacked studies on women's health for centuries. We've known this. And there's really not a lot of money in doing that study, so I don't see it happening in the future either. But are we going to continue to gaslight women's lived experiences in using seed cycling? How it's benefited their fertility, their endometriosis, PCOS, brought back their cycles, minimized PMS, or how there's specific studies on the individual seeds and how they benefit the menstrual cycle. Flax, pumpkin, sesame, and sunflower seeds are the 4 seeds used in seed cycling. At this point, we're just doing our own science and our own studies because it won't be done for us. I think it's one of the easiest and best ways to start cycle syncing and live harmoniously with your hormones.
This is the only video that you need to watch on cycle syncing. I have been doing cycle syncing for over a year now. I have done so much trial and error, so much research, so much of my own personal experience. And just for like FYI, I used to have an ovarian cyst, terrible cystic acne, unstable periods, PMS symptoms, and now I am the healthiest version of myself, and I'm gonna teach you all you need to know. And if you're interested in learning more about cycle syncing, I have a whole cycle syncing guide on my stand page that you can download. Okay, let's get started. And also shout out to TikTok for the 10-minute feature, because now we're not gonna need any part 1, 2, and 3. Okay. The first thing that you need to know, the basic thing, is that your cycle has 4 phases, and the way that I look at the 4 phases of my cycle is I look at them as seasons. So the menstrual phase is the inner winter, the follicular phase is the inner spring, the ovulatory phase is the inner summer, the luteal phase is the inner fall. Let's start out with the menstrual phase, also known as your period. So the menstrual phase occurs between usually day 1 and day 5 to 7-ish of your cycle. And this is the day where your body is releasing. The way I look at my period, I look at it as like a death. Like your body is releasing all the things it doesn't need in order to create life all over again. But basically, the thing you need to realize about being a woman is that you are run by the moon, not by the sun. So your hormones fluctuate on a 28-day cycle, not on a daily cycle like a man, which is why the 9 to 5 and all those things that are, signifying a patriarchal society don't work for women, and why so many women are burnt out and tired and confused in life. It's because you're not aligned with your feminine energy. So here's how you can start syncing with your menstrual phase of your cycle. So your menstrual phase, when you're on your period, that's when like your body is in this form of hibernation. You might feel more emotional. You might want to be a little more within yourself, more introspective. So let's talk about foods that you should be eating to support this part of your cycle. During your period, you want to be focused on eating a lot of womb warming foods. So like bone broth, tea, grass-fed meat, dark chocolate's a really good one during your period. Sweet potatoes, salmon, vitamin B rich foods are your best friends. Now when it comes to exercise, I like to go for low impact workouts during this time of the month. So like yin yoga, walking, swimming, resting. Your body needs rest during this time too. During your period, your theme of life is all about resting and rejuvenating. So hold that space for yourself and tell yourself that it's okay to rest during this time. It's okay to hold space for yourself, because then you can show up better in the other times of your cycle. Now let's talk about the follicular phase. So the follicular follicular phase is day, why can't I say follicular? Blah, blah, blah. It like rolls off my tongue. But this phase is day 6 to 13-ish of your cycle. And this is when you're going to start seeing your energies kind of pick up. You're going to become a little more strong. You're going to feel a little more high energy, more social, but less than you would when you're ovulating. So how can you support your body during this time? Food-wise, you want to focus on very fresh, light foods. I like to eat a lot of steamed vegetables, eggs, avocado, oatmeal, flax seeds. Those are really good. Exercise-wise, this is when you can start picking up the pace. So usually when I'm on my follicular phase, I love to do cardio. Running, HIIT workouts, power yoga, lifting. And most importantly, this is a time for you to start treasuring yourself, to connect to yourself, and to also, you're getting out of this hibernation state and you're getting more open to the world. So for me at least, this is a really good time to like make friends or go on a date. Now let's talk about ovulation. Day 14 to around 21-ish of your cycle. This is like your energetic peak, okay? This is when like your skin is glowing, you're feeling so good, so social, so open, because your hormones are at a peak. This is a really good time to like start new projects, to go out into the world, to get out of your comfort zone. Now let's talk food. So the best things to eat during your ovulation phase is bright raw foods. So think like strawberries, any magnesium rich foods, pumpkin seeds, quinoa, broccoli. Exercise wise, your body is again at an energetic peak. This is a good time to do strength training, Pilates, kickboxing, any high energy workouts. Your body, it's going to support your body during this time. Unlike when you're on your period, if you're doing these crazy HIIT workouts, you can actually be agitating your cycle. The greatest way to tell if a woman is healthy and connected to life is when she's ovulating. This is your time to align with your power, with your true feminine self. Like this is the time you're going to be feeling the best out of your cycle. And last one, the luteal phase. This is day 22 to 28-ish of your cycle. During this part of your cycle, you're right before your period, so it's a good time to start warming up your womb again. So I like to eat a lot of baked warm foods. Potatoes, zinc-rich foods, beets, olive oil, zucchini, magnesium, broccoli, steamed like baked vegetables in the oven. Like exercise-wise, tune into your own body, okay? Because something that I've noticed about myself is during the luteal phase, in the beginning, I have still high energy, so I like to do like yoga and HIIT workouts and things like that. But towards the last few days right before my period, like my energy levels are going way down, and I like to do like very light workouts, light yoga, light stretching, you know, going on a walk, really tuning into my body and what it needs during this time. How can you be more gentle with yourself? How can you align with more introspection? So this is a good time to like do any healing work and shadow work and journaling and connecting with yourself and your inner being and meditating. Like this is the time where you're connecting back into yourself.
Everyone always talks about cycle syncing your diet and your workouts, but you can also cycle sync your calendar. By aligning your social activities with your natural fluctuations in your energy levels throughout your menstrual cycle, you can optimize your well-being and productivity. During the follicular phase, embrace the surge of energy and creativity. Take action, start new projects, and go on an adventure. In the ovulation phase, take advantage of increased confidence and sociability. You should feel so magnetic right now, so go outside, network, and live your best life. In the luteal phase, focus on attention to detail and completion and cozy nights in. Of course, during the menstrual phase, prioritize rest and self-care.
My friend told me about this study they did a few years ago where they injected these beautiful redwood trees with a chemical similar to adrenaline so that way the trees wouldn't go into hibernation. And these mighty trees that normally live for hundreds of years died within 1 year because they didn't have a season of wintering. And I think about us humans, the way we expect ourselves to be in constant spring, always blooming, always producing, always distracted, and not making time for those moments with the people we love or those moments with nature. Distraction is the death of art.
If you think about it, we have 1 week where we have our period, right? Horrible, brutal. But then we have the week before the period, which I would argue is worse. You're ugly, fat, bloated, and you think everybody hates you. Then we have a week where our body's in a recovery phase from that lovely shedding process, right? That leaves 1 week. 1 week, 7 days where we feel level-headed, confident, motivated, like our best selves. 7 days. I don't know about you guys, but I would like a fucking refund. This is absolutely...
Your period could be making you fucking psychotic. It's true. You see, every month I want to call it quits. And that's not normal. You see, I deal with chronic depression, and I don't talk about it because in the grand scheme of things, my life is pretty good and I don't have anything to be sad about, but that's not how depression works. And I'm also a very sensitive and emotional person. Like, I feel a lot. I feel deeply. So throughout time, I've always attributed my change of emotions and my tearfulness to just being an emotional, hormonal person. But over the past 1.5 to 2 years, my husband and I have noticed that I become really irrational and erratic and emotional to like the highest heights when my period is coming, right? So it's not during my period, but it's like the 10 days before my period. And the 3 main things that we noticed were wanting to call it quits, extreme tearfulness, like just crying for hours and hours and hours, and rage, like I become violent, okay, aggressive, like I am angry and sad and, you know, the other word. But then when my period is over, it's like, or even when it starts, it's like, oh, I'm better now. And I can look back and be like, damn, bitch, like you were wildin'. But the crazy thing is that the next month when it happens again, I don't have the ability to rationalize and be like, hey, you just went through this last month. Like, get a grip. Like, it's okay. Right? And that's the irrationality of it. Like, you don't have the mind space to kind of get a grip, you know? And over the past year or so, I've been doing all of the holistic things to like kind of manage the symptoms because I didn't know that I had this little thing called PMDD, which is a mental unwellness. Often found in women, or more likely found in women who also have ADHD, which I do have. So over the past year, like I've been saying, I've been going to therapy. I've been working out. I've been tapping into my friend community. I've been tapping into my partner. I've been, taking vitamin D. Okay. I've been doing all of the things, but none of the things have been working. So finally my therapist said, hey, I think you need to see a doctor. And I did. And now I have these. So hopefully it works. And I'm making this video because PMDD is like not a common thing, or it's misdiagnosed a lot, or it's ignored a lot, but only a small percentage of women have this, or is documented as having this. I don't know. Statistics are always skewed in one way or another, but maybe if you're going through this too, check it out. Look into it. You could have it. So be well, my friends.
It's believed that up to 46% of women with ADHD will experience PMD at least some point in their life. But I would take a guess it's more than that because there's so little research on this.
1.6% of women and girls globally. But then if you think that 46%...
46% of women with ADHD.
That's massive.
Yeah, that really frightens me.
It's really scary.
How many people are out there now feeling that way? Also not understanding that they have ADHD as well.
Yeah.
But again, it's having the tools and being able to explain what's going on.
Yeah.
If you can't explain it and you don't have the words, you will internalize it and you'll just feel like, okay, well, I'm actually embarrassing at this point because this keeps happening. You don't want to burden people as well.
I don't want to just call someone up and be like, I don't know what to say to you, but I just need to talk to someone.
Yeah.
But then also I'm like, I know what I really need right now is to talk to someone.
It's so validating to hear someone else say that as well, because that's my issue is like, I don't want to be a burden, so I won't. But then it gets worse because I've not talked about it.
So perfect scenario in that kind of situation to say to my friends, I don't have anything to give right now, but what I want is to be around people I love. I want to just come be. Don't expect anything from me. I just want to be around the vibes. You guys enjoy.
I just want your company.
I've been getting periods for however many months now, and every single month this shit takes me by surprise. The week before my period, mess. Week of my period, double mess. The week after, I want to slap your mama, and I will do it. I'm fine.
The best way I can describe PMDD is once a month, everything would become way too much of a metaphor for me. Like, this is a true story. I went to get a paper towel out of the dispenser, And then I went to get another paper towel out of the dispenser, and it didn't give me one. And I was like, I do ask for too much from my friends.
So here's the thing. The adult with PMDD is often the girl who survived past trauma. And trauma is deeply intertwined with PMDD in ways that we rarely talk about. Trauma creates mechanisms in the body that are designed to protect us. These can become dysfunctional over time. And what chronic stress can do is disrupt something called the HPA axis, basically our stress response system, leading to hormone imbalances. It can affect neurotransmitters, chronic inflammation, and disrupt gut health. All factors that can contribute to PMDD. And trauma is often one of the root causes that's severely overlooked in PMDD treatment. So I think understanding this connection is really important because the coping mechanisms that you might have developed are survival tools, proof of your resilience, not a sign of failure. But addressing past trauma can be a powerful way in learning to reduce your PMDD symptoms, as well as regaining control over your life. And this can look different from woman to woman. Find what works for you. But when you address your past trauma, miraculous things can happen to your body, leading to the potential of less PMDD symptoms. For those who don't know me, my name is Brittany. I'm known as the PMDD Chick, and I help women reduce their PMDD symptoms. So for all things PMDD, follow me for more.
The men still don't understand that women are 4 different people every month. And it's not even our fault. If you want to enjoy your life a whole lot more, learn this because it will change your whole dang life. Women have 4 different personalities because there are 4 weeks in a month and 4 different hormonal changes. One is the follicle, I don't know how to freaking say it. She just got off her period. She's more independent, outgoing. This is where I get an entire month's work done in 7 days. I'm really positive and I'm having the best day ever. Week 2 is ovulation. This is when we are most likely to get pregnant. Also when our body really wants to get pregnant. I also like to be alone more. Maybe that's just me. Week 3, we become a witch of a person. You will do nothing wrong, but I freaking hate you. If you couldn't tell, that is exactly the hormonal week I'm in right now. I want to punch someone in the face for literally no reason. Finally, week 4, you're bleeding, and all you want is cuddles and flowers and chocolates, and you better do it. So the next time you call your girlfriend crazy, don't you freaking dare. Because it's not her fault that her body is 4 different people. Now you know how to track the freaking cycles. You're welcome. Love you.
Baby, I'm gonna treat you so nice. You're never gonna want to let me go.
Pretty woman walking down. If you're dealing with any kind of hormone issues, you have to become a tea drinker. I've never been a tea drinker. I don't even like chai tea. I barely like green tea. I just want coffee. Coffee is my love language. But let me put you on to some of my favorite teas that'll help you with your hormones, especially if you have PCOS, if you're insulin sensitive. Teas are a game changer, but also make sure that when you're buying tea, it has to be organic tea, okay? Also, the best kind of tea is if it's loose leaf. That's better than the one that's in the actual little bag because, you know, plastics and all that. But make sure that it's organic, so that way it's not all, you know, sprayed with pesticides, and that kind of defeats the purpose of trying to heal your hormones.
Seed cycling fixed my hormones and changed my entire life. Not a single soul asked, but this is how I eat them every day. I take my pumpkin and my flax seeds because that is the portion of the cycle that I'm in. I'm ovulating in 3 days. So the first 2 weeks of your cycle, these are the seeds you eat, and I have a tablespoon of each. I said this before, but I take the whole seeds, I grind them up and keep them in little Ziplocs in my fridge so they're super easy to get to. So do about a tablespoon of each, and then I'm gonna put in some off-brand PB2. Just like however much you want, kind of like that. It's the consistency that I want with a little bit of almond milk. Now I have what looks like peanut butter. Now this is the good part. You take some whole pitted dates. This is a good, like, big, fat, juicy one. Oh, I love dates. They're so good. It literally tastes like caramel. So I do halves or fourths, and I open them like this so they're nice and flat. And then I take my peanut butter mixture, and I spread it on there thick. And then I throw a few semi-sweet chocolate chips on top. And I make this fun little dessert. And the amount of seeds and PB2 will probably make like 2 of these. So like a whole date. So I don't count calories, but I can't imagine that's anything that crazy. It's so good. It's healthy for you. It tastes like I'm eating a dessert and I'm getting my seeds in.
Your period gives you superpowers. I'm convinced, and let me explain. Not only are you a human easy bake oven, but also your hormones fluctuate so much that your strength and the way that your body actually builds muscle changes during different phases. So, for example, I have always hit my PRs in terms of lifting when I'm in my follicular phase, which is the phase that's right after your menstruation. So right around the time when you're done bleeding, which, while it sucks, I feel like we should be reframing the narrative around hormone fluctuations just a little bit. And that's just one of the things that I've been able to hack or optimize when understanding the different phases of my period. I specifically aim to do heavy weight training and push myself in the gym in my follicular phase.
All right, so I want to address this question. 𝐤𝐚, what do you recommend doing during menstruation? Do you have any practices or anything specifically that you recommend? So I want to address this question because I've been getting it quite a lot, and I think this is a good time to talk about it. So we have to remember, what is the menstrual cycle, right? Our bleed is a time of death. It's a time of letting go. It's a time of releasing. It's a time of purging. It's an end to our cycle, right? And then we start over. So when I come into winter, which is what the menstrual period is, it's a time of winter, it's a time of going inward, it's a time of connecting with my body and my emotions and myself. It's a time when my left and right hemispheres of my brain are highly activated. It's a time of great power and great downloads and great knowing. So one of the things that I do during my menstrual cycle is I wear something called a faja. Now, you might know about this if you're Latin American, that when we are menstruating, our energy center in our womb is very vulnerable. It's really open. That's why they would have women go into the red tent to bleed together in a safe space where they were protected and getting their downloads, because we're so powerful during our menstrual cycle. So in order to protect our wombs, because we can be getting a lot of energy from other people, and we could be picking up a lot of energy from other people. And if we haven't cultivated strong boundaries, which a lot of women haven't, because we've learned as a culture to not feel our boundaries and to be overgiving and overextending, all that stuff, is you can absorb other people's energies and not really know if they're yours or someone else's, because you haven't learned to feel your boundaries. So what I do is I take all my practices from indigenous cultures. Okay, so the first thing that a lot of women do in Latin America is they wear something called a faja. Now, faja is what you wear around your womb, and it has to be red, and you tie it around your uterus. Now, when I started wearing a faja during my womb bleed, it changed something on a subtle level. Like, we have to remember that we work with the womb. When we are working with the feminine mysteries and feminine energies, we are working with the subtle energies, the ones that feel really intangible, but you can only really sense it when you're tapped into yourself, okay? So I wear this faja, a red faja, it has to be red, and I wear it the whole time. Number one, it keeps my uterus warm all the time, which is really, really important. What I always talk about on my page is you need to keep the uterus warm. And so this is a way to protect it from any external energies. And it's a really beautiful practice that's really grounding. And I just never take it off. I wear it to sleep. I wear it, like, if I'm taking a shower, I take it off. But like, other than that, I don't. Other than that, most of my practices come before and after my period. Okay, so after my period, I do a yoni steam to help my body's natural cleansing process and wrap it up and make it complete and give it a nice little steam. I do that every single month, which I recommend you do. You can find that video on my YouTube if you want to learn more. I also do an ovarian cleanse. So I do that before or after my period, which you can also find on my YouTube. Remember, the whole point of this is that you have to be in practice with these things. It's not just like you did it once and you're saved, It's like you have to be doing this regularly. Another thing that I'll do is I'll have cacao, because cacao has a lot of antioxidants, and it really calms me during my luteal phase. And I also drink it during my menstrual phase as well, but I start drinking in my luteal phase to prepare my womb, prepare my emotions, my hormones. So I'm not out there mood swinging. Okay, so that really helps. I also will drink like a turmeric tea, like a golden latte milk. That also helps to create some heat in my body and to help the blood drop. So yeah, those are a couple things that I do during my menstruation. So I recommend giving it a try. You can also Google fajas and learn more about them in indigenous cultures. And I hope that helps.
Most men don't actually know how to take care of a woman during their monthly period, so here's everything you should do for your partner to make her life easier and more comfortable. First, bring her chocolate and flowers. These little gestures, total game changers. Chocolate helps with mood, and flowers, they just make anyone's day better. Cook her favorite meal. It's such a simple thing, but trust me, it goes a long way. The way to her heart, comfort food. Watch her favorite show. Even if it's not your go-to genre, being present matters. Grab some snacks, cuddle up, and let her pick whatever she wants. Offer her a hot water bottle. If she's dealing with cramps, this will be a lifesaver. You don't need to understand it, just know it helps. And lastly, do a face mask with her. It's not just about skincare, it's about bonding.
Day 1 of my cycle, which is the first day of my period, and here are 3 things that I do as someone who specializes in women's and menstrual health to support day 1 of my cycle. The first thing is, as soon as I get my period, I try to go for a walk, or at least do some light, gentle movement, just to get the blood flowing, circulating, and to help to disperse prostaglandins, and that really helps to alleviate cramps and reduce any discomfort. I know sometimes when you're uncomfortable, it's hard to take that first step to go out for a walk or do some light stretching when you're on your period, but it helps so much and you'll feel so much better afterwards. Number 2 is I double up on socks, especially during the winter. This is from traditional Chinese medicine, which says cold feet equal a cold womb, and a cold womb equals pain. And number 3 is I am not starting my day with any coffee. I typically don't drink any coffee during my period, especially on day 1 and 2, not only because it can increase water retention and bloating, and is dehydrating, it also constricts blood vessels, which, as we know, having good circulation during your period is essential to reduce cramps. It can also irritate the stomach, which during your period you might already have some digestive issues, so don't really want to add to that, and a few other reasons. But instead of coffee, I like to go for like a hot chocolate. Has tons of antioxidants, magnesium, is delicious, or an herbal tea of some sorts, or a turmeric latte. There's tons of options. Let me know in the comments what you do to help your cycle, and follow for more tips.
People freaked out when I said that the color of your period blood can tell you what kind of hormonal imbalance you have. So today, I'm going to tell you exactly what each color means about your hormones. I figured out that I had low progesterone and high estrogen, which helped me to lose weight, heal my cystic acne, and heal my PMDD. Your period is like a report card for the health of your body, so you always want to pay super close attention to how you feel, the symptoms you're experiencing, but also the color of your bleed. If you have bright red period blood, similar to cherry juice, you probably have a healthy period. But of course, you'd want to pay attention to all the other symptoms you're experiencing too. If your period blood is purple or really, really dark red, you're probably experiencing high estrogen or estrogen dominance. You're probably also seeing breakouts on and around ovulation. You're probably having heavy cramping, painful periods, and probably a lot of PMS symptoms. If you have brown blood or spotting at the beginning and the end of your period, that is probably a sign of low progesterone. Everybody freaked out the last time I said this because they were like, no, it's old blood, it's oxidized blood, which is true, but it's because of a result of low progesterone. Low progesterone levels can cause your uterine lining to have difficulty shedding. You also are probably seeing breakouts in your luteal phase or right before your period. You also could be having trouble sleeping, experiencing low libido, or probably anxiety and depression as well. A light pink period or a very faint period can be an indication of low estrogen. If you have low estrogen, you probably have a really light period. It probably doesn't last for more than 3 days. You could also be experiencing hair thinning, anxiety.
This lady does a great job of explaining what different colors of period blood can mean about your hormones, and I'm going to do my Chinese medicine add-ons at the end. So from a Chinese medicine perspective, when she mentioned the low estrogen pattern where your period can be kind of a light pink and corresponds with low estrogen, in Chinese medicine that can correspond with spleen qi deficiency, which often is exhibited by a patient who is either accidentally not eating enough food or intentionally, somebody who is eating too many raw fruits and vegetables that aren't digesting very well in their digestive tract, or somebody who is just having some kind of nutritional deficiency in general. If the period blood is very, very bright red, like a fire engine kind of red, that can be a sign of inflammation. You might have something like an autoimmune disease, or you might just have to be running with a high body temperature. You might want to get your thyroid checked if that is going on. Some instances of the darker period blood color, something heading towards purple but not quite there, can be from what we call liver qi stagnation, which is basically just indicating that something isn't moving and circulating well in your body. What I see causing that mostly within our modern life is that we aren't moving enough. So if we're not moving enough, blood can get a little stagnant, can get a little dark. That can cause some issues like cramps, irritability, PMS, etc. And if you have the very dark purpley color, that can correspond with blood, phlegm, or damp stagnation from a Chinese medicine perspective, which can start to be associated with extra growths, things like endometriosis or fibroids. Do any of these sound like you? And did this video explain anything going on in your life?
How can we stop our periods from being so heavy?
Seed cycling is a really great old naturopathic way of balancing hormones. It's in the first half of your cycle, so hopefully everyone has got the Flow app and they know where they are in their cycle. So for the first half of your cycle, you're going to eat pumpkin seeds and flax seeds. They need to be ground, so a tablespoon of each. So get yourself a little coffee grinder if you can, or buy them pre-ground, but do keep them in the freezer because ground seeds can go rancid. Flax seeds and pumpkin seeds first half of your cycle. And then sesame seeds and sunflower seeds, so a tablespoon of each ground in the second half of your cycle. What this can do is really powerful, actually. It can help regulate cycles, help with heavy periods, help detox that estrogen, particularly the ground flax seeds can do that. And you just keep doing it like that around your cycle. It's called seed cycling.
That's genius.
It is genius.
That is what a wonderful tip for girls to have that. Why is no one talking about this?
I don't know, I am.
This is exactly what you should be consuming during the menstrual phase of your cycle.
If you suffer from menstrual cramps, drink raspberry leaf tea 5 days before and during your menstrual phase. It has a high content of fragrine, which is a compound that can reduce uterine spasms and regulate menstrual flow. If your body feels tense or if you suffer from low mood, anxiety, use magnesium powder at night. This is a natural muscle relaxant. It will help ease menstrual cramps and reduce overall muscle tension in your body. If you feel super lethargic, even just in general, B vitamins, particularly B12, are known to convert food to energy. This is very useful during periods of fatigue, especially in the menstrual phase. This is the star of the show. Omega-3 fatty acids have anti-inflammatory properties. They've been studied extensively with helping to reduce menstrual pain and cramping. You definitely want extra immune support during the menstrual phase since some women experience a dip in energy and resilience. It also helps reduce heavy menstrual bleeding by promoting the health and strength of blood vessels. Iron supplements or prescription, this is optional and should only be taken if a doctor tells you to supplement with iron based on your labs. As far as food goes, you want to eat a lot of iron-rich foods. Organic beef is rich in iron, which can help replenish iron stores depleted by menstrual bleeding. Another example are microgreens and dark leafy vegetables like spinach, kale, chard. I ran out of spinach today, but regardless, these vegetables are high in iron and magnesium, which can help reduce fatigue and cramping during menstruation. And of course, dates to help satisfy those sugar cravings without causing rapid blood sugar spikes.
Foods I prep to support my body during my menstrual phase, focusing on nutrient-dense, gut-healthy, and super-duper comforting. A big breakfast scramble using this pumpkin seed meat substitute, which is great for iron. Went heavy in the comfort food with this butternut squash mac and cheese. It's my favorite. Plan ahead for cravings. I made these grain-free peanut butter brownies and added some pumpkin seeds to the top for extra iron. They are so good. Kale salad, but make it so easy to digest by massaging it with lemon juice, olive oil, and salt. Brassicas can be hard on the stomach, so I really recommend you cook them or massage them. Getting those probiotics in with a little Austrian muesli. It's basically muesli soaked with yogurt overnight. I add some fruit, pumpkin seeds, maple syrup. It's delicious, so good for on-the-go breakfast. I made a fat beef stew full of root vegetables and bone broth, which has lots of collagen in it, which your body really needs right now. And some watermelon for snacking because it helps fight bloating and water retention. Plan ahead and nourish your body well this week. You will not regret it.
If you're on your period and you want to eat to support your hormones, there's a few things that you want to focus on. So iron-rich foods is one. So foods like red meat, kale, beets, spinach, kidney beans are really good too. That's going to help replenish the iron levels that you're losing through menstruation. And then if you're also getting a lot of your iron from plant-based foods, you want to eat vitamin C rich foods. So bright colored vegetables and citrusy fruits. And as well as that, you're going to eat flax seeds and pumpkin seeds. So seed cycling is huge. Flax seeds help to bind to the extra estrogen that's in your stomach and excrete that. So that helps a lot with PMS. And then pumpkin seeds help progesterone levels later on in your cycle. So hope that was helpful.
If you have excessive menstrual flow, aka you bleed too much every time of the month, you can try jujubes, okay? So these are like Chinese dry dates. I want to emphasize that only the dry ones historically in Chinese medicine would use as a Chinese herb, not the fresh ones. So these ones are really good for nourishing blood. They are really, really good for giving you extra energy as well. What you need to do is you can either just like wash them and eat them as they are, but I would caution for people who have like heartburn, stomach issue or digestive issue, you should rehydrate them so they are softer and they will not like give you, any discomfort feeling when you eat it. Enjoy!
It is that time of month, which means I'm usually craving warm and comforting meals. So for this week's meal prep, I'm making a nourishing soup in the crock pot. I love incorporating kale, sweet potato, and bone broth into my diet during this time of month, and this soup definitely did not disappoint. I basically just added all the ingredients to the crock pot and cooked it on high for about 3 hours. Then I pulled apart the chicken breast and added the shredded chicken back into the soup. And of course, who doesn't love chocolate while they're on their period? So I made these healthy homemade Snicker bars for the week, but I'll probably have to make another batch because I cannot stop eating them. They are so good, you guys.
Us indigenous people are aware that when you are menstruating, you are flushing your entire body and renewing your blood. You're also flushing energetically everybody who's around you and who you have energetic emotional ties to, their issues as well. So when a woman is on her cycle, she's in the most sacred ceremony that there is besides childbirth, and you don't do anything. It's a time to listen to your body, and it's a time to just relax and chill, and no other treatment should be done because you're kind of wide open. And vulnerable, so you gotta care for yourself in a special way during your cycle.
Here are a few tips I've learned to help make your period a little bit less uncomfortable. Book all your girl maintenance appointments a week before your period to avoid the whole I feel ugly feeling. You should be wearing loose-fitting cotton underwear during your period, okay? Trust me, everything don't need to be lacy and sexy. I know it seems almost natural to crave sweet things when you're on your period, but that extra sugar can actually make your cramps work, so you should lean towards salty snacks instead. Keeping your feet warm can help reduce period cramps too. Warm feet, warm womb. And I've said that before. Organic tampons and pads can help shorten the length of your period by up to like 2 to 3 days. I know some of y'all might not like this one, but flicking the bean while you're on your period can reduce period cramps. I'm just saying. Put down the summer's eve and the honey pot and the douches and everything. The best soap that you could use for your lady parts is this right here, the Dial Gold Bar. Trust me, okay? Raspberry leaf tea can help relieve cramps, and peppermint tea can help relieve bloating. Don't wear a panty liner unless you absolutely need it, okay? Don't just be walking around wearing one. That's not good for your labia. The more active you are, the more regular your period is likely to be. So I'm not saying you have to work out every day, but like walk or something. It'll help. If you have any other tips that I may not have mentioned, by all means, skip this video.
I've read the book In the Flow, so you don't have to, and here are my honest thoughts as a period and fertility awareness educator. In the Flow is actually a really good book, but it's also a very dense book. So if you are somebody who is starting out with cycle syncing, I wouldn't recommend this. If you are someone that's pressed for time, I would not recommend this. If you are somebody who just wants to have the Sparks Notes version of how to sync with your cycle and apply it to your life, I would not recommend this. I would, however, recommend this for those of you who maybe also work in the wellness space or are maybe doctors, maybe you're nurses, and you want to incorporate these things into working with your patients. And I would recommend it for those people because it's a very dense book. I know a lot of influencers will tell you this is the best one. That's all cap. The best book for cycle syncing for beginners is Woman Code by the exact same author. This is a field guide to understanding how to sync with your cycle, and it was actually the book that she wrote first. So she wrote this one first and then expanded with this one. And I just feel like this one is just so much better if you're a beginner, if you're pressed for time, if you like Sparks Notes. So there you go. If you want to know whether or not you should get in the flow, well, decide the type of person you are. Are you type A, where you need all of the details? Or are you type B, where you're kind of like, nah, Give me the shortcut. Give me the spark notes. Let me know which type of person you are, and make sure you hit follow, because this is a place where we talk about all things related to periods, PMS, women's health, and everything in between. Love you. Mean it.
My period would not have been as worse if I listened to my Asian mom on these 3 tips. Eat beef and make sure you're getting enough protein when you're on your period, because all of this helps to build up blood and qi that you're losing when you're losing blood. I love how growing up my mom would always make a nourishing bone broth or chicken soup. And you know, today if you're craving a burger, go ahead and indulge, because your body can benefit from the iron. Number 2, avoiding iced beverages and cold raw foods, even sushi. According to Chinese medicine, foods that are colder in constitution or iced beverages could block the flow of blood and qi, which leads to some of the painful cramps and other symptoms. And make sure you're drinking your herbs, things like Angelica sinensis, ginger, goji berries, jujubes. These are great for menstrual health, and if you don't live near an Asian supermarket, we boil them all down in our 𝐿IX herbal formulas. You can add these organic herbs to your favorite beverage and enjoy the benefits of how they help lower inflammation and balance your hormones.
I'm a witch. I woke up with really bad cramps because it's day 1 of my period, and I made myself some tea with some raspberry leaf and chamomile and mugwort and cramp bark, and now I feel better. I was about to call off of work because working from home is too hard, but now I feel better. I'm a witch.
On your period, it is so important to be eating warming foods and liquids, and let me tell you why. I'm eating a nice bowl of oatmeal, and I have my hot water bottle here with me. So on your period, you really want to keep the body and the womb warm for a better bleed, for a less painful period. And when you're on your period, especially like days 1 or 2 or 3, you don't want to be having iced drinks, cold drinks, a lot of raw food, smoothies, like cold stuff like that, because it's getting the body out of balance. And so the most important thing you can do is to have hot teas, soups, cooked foods. Anything that's warming to the body will help make you feel a lot better and have an easier and less painful period.
4 things you can start doing today to improve your menstrual health. Be sure to stay until the end, because the last 2 tips no one is talking about. In case you don't know, my name is Evelyn, and I'm a holistic wellness coach helping conscious women take back control of their hormone health and fertility. So if that's something you're interested in learning more about, be sure to give me a follow. And if you're currently looking for one-on-one support on your hormone balancing or fertility journey, I invite you to book a free call with me to see if working together would be a good fit. So let's get into it. 1, aim to get anywhere between 90 to 100 grams of efficient protein per day. And by efficient protein, I mean animal protein. This is the only way that you are truly guaranteed to get all 9 essential amino acids that your body cannot make. These are the building blocks that your body needs to regulate your hormones, achieve optimal hormone health, a healthy regular menstrual cycle, and overall health and well-being. And try your best to get most of your protein in first thing in the morning. Anywhere between 30 to 40 grams is ideal. This just sets you up for success for the rest of the day and makes such a big difference when it comes to your menstrual health. 2, increase your soluble fiber intake. Soluble fiber acts as a natural detoxifier. It binds to excess hormones and toxins in the body, preventing an overaccumulation of waste, which can alleviate those common symptoms oftentimes experienced during menstruation, like these. So start eating more soluble fiber, my friends. In case you are wondering, beans are the richest source of soluble fiber. 3, ditch the tampons. Yes, even the organic cotton tampons, and switch over to organic cotton pads. I'm telling you, your body will thank you. Tampons can actually hinder proper blood flow, which can lead to more pain and discomfort during your period. Pads, on the other hand, allow for a more natural flow, which can significantly reduce pain and discomfort. And 4, spend some time each day sitting in a deep squat position. Start with a few seconds and gradually work your way up to a few minutes. Sitting in this position will enhance circulation and blood flow to the lower part of your body, including the pelvic region, which can reduce cramping and promote a healthier menstrual flow. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, be sure to like, share, and follow for more.
Dying of cramps, and then my husband out of nowhere goes, why don't you just drink some pickle juice? Dill pickle juice. We have some in the fridge.
The best.
And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, if you drink some dill pickle juice, your cramps will go away.
Just see it on the internet?
Yeah, he said he just saw it on Instagram. But anyway,
I wonder where he heard that.
The fridge, I drink the dill pickle juice, and I'm not even kidding. Within like 5 minutes, my cramps were like at a minimum.
Drinking pickle juice can be effective for menstrual cramping because the high sodium and potassium content can ease cramping, and also the vinegar in pickle juice can help stabilize blood sugar levels, which also helps with cramping symptoms.
So this is for my ladies. When I was in China and I was on that time of month, they would give me ginger and brown sugar together, and they would put it into a tea. So this is a type of traditional Chinese medicine. They think that when it's your time of month, your body gets cold. So when you have ginger, which is a very warming root, and you add brown sugar, which is thought to nourish your blood, it will help you through this time of the month. And y'all already know I'm super into ginger, so I have my own ginger tea. So I'm doing it a little bit differently today, but ginger tea, ginger root, make it into a little concoction, and you guys will thank me later.
Hello, my best friend, and welcome back to yet another rules list. This one's gonna be my rules for your period. I have PCOS and endometriosis, and I prep for my time of the month so that it's as easy as possible, and I'm gonna share with you some tips and tricks. As always, this will be up on my Instagram story for screenshotting purposes. Link above if you chat with me there, but without further ado, opinions and your viewers, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. My rules for your period. Number 1, prep it the fuck out. When you know it's coming up, do your laundry so all your favorite comfy clothes are clean. All the underwear you like to wear during that time are clean. Buy the groceries that you want. Buy your Ben & Jerry's. Oh, your heating pad broke last month? Okay, make sure you have another one. Maybe a bath bomb, a face mask, some self-care tools. You will thank yourself later. Number 2, remember to just take your supplements. I know sometimes we forget. For me, turmeric really helps. I take a bunch, but nonetheless. The day before, eat some iron in whatever way you can get in iron. Spinach or steak, or I don't know what your prerogative is, choose something. Also, the day before, take your everything shower. I get so lazy and lethargic during that time of the month, so I like to get really, really clean, squeaky, nice, shiny, all the things. On day 2, buy yourself a gift, because you deserve a fucking gift. Like, this is a lot of work to make us feel better. We're also going to gift ourselves something. You get to choose what it is. I don't know what your prerogative is. Really commit to hydrating every single day. It is going to help. In my brain, I'm like, that's stupid. I don't need to drink more water than... Yes, you do. You do. During your menstrual phase of your cycle, Pilates and yoga are 2 really good kinds of workouts to do to line up with your hormones and everything else. Just schedule one Pilates or yoga class. Do it at home. Do it on YouTube. Sometimes we don't want to move when we're on our period, and that's also totally fine. But getting your steps in can also really help. Nothing crazy, like I'm not forcing myself to do a 20,000 step day. I'm just going out of my way to walk if I can. Number 9, CBD balm. It's going to save your life. You can get CBD balm almost anywhere. I like Baked Beauty Co., but that's just me. Night 1 is your rage night. Get angry. Go in your journal and write fucking angry shit down. Watch something that pisses you off. Get out that anger. Scream into the pillow. Night 3 is cry movie night. Whatever that is for you. For me, it's pretty much almost anything. Almost anything makes me cry, but I don't know what it'll be this time. My period starts tomorrow, so. In order to center myself and to get my emotions in check, I will do 1 5-minute meditation a day. I literally look it up on YouTube and I sit with myself and I say, we are going to relax, we're going to regulate, because otherwise I take out all my emotions on my boyfriend, whoever's around me, and that's not fair. Day 1 to 5, I don't make plans unless I have to go somewhere, because listen, I get sick on my period because I have some contributing factors. Little lady called endometriosis came right in. She doesn't fuck around. But I'll always make plans for like the 7th day, the end, because I've never felt better than the last day or the day after the last day of my period, and I'll wear jeans. I always fucking wear jeans. I'm not gonna wear jeans on days 1 to 5. That's ridiculous and insane. Anyways, I hope you guys are all feeling okay, and if we're cycle sisters, let me know. Love you.
Here are 5 things that I always encourage the women of my Sacred Womb community to do on the first 2 days of their cycle. Number 1 is going to be to veil. When you are on your cycle, the receptivity to the universal energy is at large. Think of your bleed as a wound within your womb, and not necessarily that you are hurting, but think of it as vampiric energy, meaning it's going to be attracted to that blood that's leaking into the water. It's like a shark. So you want to be able to veil with intention. That way you can control the influx of energetic downloads that you receive. Number 2 is going to be to consume protein at your very first meal of the day. Your body needs a complete protein in order to repair as it is shedding. This also promotes endurance and adaptability so you can maintain your strength as you shed and slough during your menstruation. Number 3 is going to be a celebratory ritual. This can look like anything that feels right to you as long as the theme is to celebrate and worship you. For me, it's going to be an herbal blend that I drink on my first 2 days that helps with softening my cervix and connecting to my divinity. And also, always, on my very first day, I will take the blood and place it over my third eye as a mask, and then go ahead and worship my body for its incredible power, because women literally die and rebirth every single month. Number 4 is going to be designating a specific object that you carry on your person during your menstruation. For me, it's my carnelian. It should be an object that designates your root chakra to be grounded and centered and celebratory. Earrings, bracelets, anklets, toe rings, necklaces, it doesn't matter. Adorning and decorating our person is ancient behavior, goddess behavior. Number 5 is going to be to enjoy your winter. Winter is the season of your menstruation, and during winter, we rest. We nourish our body with warm foods. We bundle up and get all cozy. We go dormant and hibernate for a while. And this is important for our menstruation, because menstruation is our ultimate intuitive nature. And unfortunately, we do not live in a society that allows us to take time off when we are menstruating for whatever reason. So this intentional rest has to be planned and coordinated. And this is not a chore. This is a gift. This is why cycle syncing and getting in tune with your cyclical changes is so important, because frenzying at the last moment doesn't make anybody feel good. I'd love to hear your top 5 things that you do during your menstruation, so tag me.
If I still had a heavy period, this is one thing I'd keep on rotation.
And no, it's not cranberry juice. It's actually milk thistle. Now, there are a lot of different benefits to this for a heavy flow, but some of the ones that stand out to the most are the fact that it can help detoxify the liver, which metabolizes estrogen. And a lot of people who have a heavy period actually have estrogen dominance and lower progesterone levels. Another thing that I really love about milk thistle is the fact that it can help regulate your hormones, and it has a lot of antioxidant properties to help you combat oxidative stress. Now, if you're like, girl, translate that into like basic terms, basically what I'm saying is milk thistle in conjunction with the proper minerals such as zinc and magnesium can really help support you in taking your flow from being very, very heavy to really light. I've actually had several clients add milk thistle into their routine, increase their zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D intake, and actually shorten their period in a few days. So again, if you're one of the girlies with a heavy flow, milk thistle might be the game changer you are looking for. Let me know your thoughts. As always, love you, mean it.
Okay, if you have your period right now and you are feeling really exhausted, you just want to lay down and you're feeling kind of annoyed with yourself, like you need to be productive all the time, I'm here to remind you it is okay to rest. Your body is doing the most right now, so give yourself a break, read a book, watch a show, eat some really nourishing foods, have a lay down like I'm doing, whatever it is, please be kind to yourself.
Oh, because what he just described is dysmenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea and cramping are two different things. Ladies, let's get into it real quick. I want you to think of cramping kind of like a paper cut or a splinter. It sucks, it hurts, it's inconvenient, but you know how to manage it on your own, and it's really not stopping you from getting through your day. Whereas dysmenorrhea is pain that is so severe that you could feel like you're having a heart attack. It's pain so severe that like you cannot function and you're like, can I get through this day? Like, what is going on? I'm aching not only in my abdomen, but in places I didn't even know I should be aching on my period, like my butt, my hips, my elbow. It just hurts, and it stops you from really living your best life. Now, I'm not trying to minimize menstrual cramping and the discomfort of that. I just want to make sure that we all know the difference between cramps and dysmenorrhea. If you have never heard of dysmenorrhea or you think you might have dysmenorrhea, make sure you are talking with your doctor about it. And if you want to learn more about your period, menstrual cycle, fertility, and everything in between, make sure you hit follow. Love you, mean it.
Why did it take me till I was 26 to learn about female hormones? But that is not going to be you, because I'm going to explain it to you and make it very entertaining. Boys, don't leave. If you want to understand women better, this applies to you too. Whew! First half of your cycle is the follicular phase. This is the time from when your period begins to when you ovulate. Sisters, this is your time to shine. You're going to feel energetic. You're going to feel flirty. You're going to feel good about yourself. This is the time to plan your social events, plan your outings with friends, plan your dates in your follicular phase. Think flirty, follicular. This is also a great time to do high intensity exercise like running or HIIT classes. Estrogen is high, and to support that, eat some pumpkin seeds. I have a recipe on my page.
Do you know you have 30 minutes? Are you kidding me? 30, yes.
Why do I feel worse in my follicular phase compared to my luteal phase? First things first, if you're feeling tired and drained after your period, you may want to look into iron deficiency. It's also important to note that if you're sensitive to estrogen, estrogen can bring a lot of feelings of anxiety. On the flip side, in your luteal phase, progesterone is actually a natural anti-anxiety and it soothes your nervous system. With all that in mind, let's reflect a little bit. Let's get honest. Are you resting during your period, or are you acting like it doesn't exist? If you weren't taking some time to recoup some of that energy in your menstrual phase, of course you're not going to feel gung-ho in your follicular phase. Ask yourself these questions. Am I overextending myself? Am I allowing rest to occur in my late luteal and menstrual phase? Am I properly nourishing myself? Am I drinking enough water? How am I caring for myself? When all else fails, go back to the basics. Treat yourself like you would a child. So that means really focusing on nourishing your body, quality sleep, and lots of self-care. And after, if you focus on all of that and you're still feeling kind of blah in your follicular phase, speak to your doctor and try to get to the root cause of the issue.
I am in the follicular stage of cycle syncing. This is basically when you are the most creative, when you are project planning the most, where you feel the most productive. So I'm just going to take you throughout my day of what it feels like and what I usually do to make myself feel the best. We have a day full of exercise, project planning. Should be exciting. So let's hope I'm not unproductive. I made a whole to-do list, so you already know we're gonna be productive today. It is legit 10 in the morning right now, so all I'm having is a freaking banana. This is something that happens pretty often. Oh my god, you're getting a new baby! Gym Fit is on. I just love this brand. My workout was so good. I felt everything everywhere that I was supposed to. For the follicular stage, you're supposed to eat things like chicken, lentil, grains, but I'm kind of deviating from that a little bit since I wanted to buy food at the gym. And I'm having turkey, chickpea, rice, and tomato. I'm on to probably prepare some more before having a drink. This light is so fucking bright. Back from the gym. Relax, we're ready. I'm eating some salmon, jasmine rice, and seaweed snacks. After, we're gonna do some planning, and I think we're done for the day. Oh, it is time to relax. Got the heated blanket on, super cozy. On my ancient ass mug. Everything in the world is right now. I literally cannot concentrate without the fireplace in the background. It's that serious. So now it's just a little bit of lesson planning. To plan my content during this phase, I feel really creative, really up there. It's power at its best. I usually light some candles to get me in the mood. Probably have a protein shake before bed. It was a really good day. Love you.
Rules for your follicular phase, also known as the first half of your cycle. It starts on day 1 of your period and goes up right into ovulation. First is entering this thing I like to call yes mode. Saying yes to literally everything that comes my way is so fun during this phase because I have so much more energy, and I feel like it just brings me so many more experiences and things I get to try by just saying yes to everything that comes my way. 2, do not make any serious plans 2 weeks out. In 2 weeks, you're going to feel a lot less energy because your luteal phase is coming. So focus on what you can do now instead of planning things in advance because your energy will not remain the same. 3, schedule a coffee date with someone you'd like to get to know more. I love just talking to random people who maybe I'm peripherally close with, but not that close with. Your follicular phase is a great time to do this because you have more energy, you're feeling more social. So schedule those coffee dates, grab a bite to eat with somebody you're hoping to get to know more. Okay, check a ton of things off of your to-do list. This is when you're feeling most productive. You're not wanting to lay in bed, you are going. So prep for the following weeks when you're having a little bit of lower energy by just getting as much as you can off your to-do list. Similarly, you need to prep for your luteal phase. So your luteal phase is the second half of your cycle. It starts from ovulation until the day right before your period. And this is when you have lower energy, you're feeling less productive, you kind of just want to lay around all day. So whether this be going to the store and buying Advil because you know you're going to have cramps, talking to your friends and saying, hey, I don't know if I'm going to make this whatever it is next week because I know my luteal phase is coming and I know I won't have a ton of energy, but just prepping ahead and knowing your energy is going to switch. 6, try a new dinner spot. This is a great time to just keep trying new things, do everything you can while you have all this good energy, eat something new, go out with your friends, live it up. And finally, clean your room. I feel like I have I know depression room, but I have a luteal room where when I'm in my luteal phase, my room is a mess because I don't have the energy to clean it. So take your follicular phase each month to keep it clean, keep your space clean, do a spring clean out, but follicular clean out.
In your follicular phase, please make sure that you're eating enough food. Follicular phase, you're naturally just not going to be as hungry. So I have to always make sure that I'm being responsible and eating enough protein, enough food to support my cycle, because if we don't eat enough, our body thinks that something is wrong. It stresses the body out and it sends a signal to the brain, or the brain then thinks we're starving and starts to not pay as much attention to the reproductive system, metabolism, all that stuff. So we have a nice little salad with some quinoa, raw carrots. I try to eat those all month long. They're so good for getting rid of extra estrogen. I will do a little bit of this because I don't do salad dressing all the time. And I'll kind of like dip my chicken in that little combo. I have some chicken thighs and some roasted cabbage. So roasted cabbage is not only so good for your hormone health, but it is severely underrated. It is so delicious. I do olive oil, honey, salt, garlic powder, sometimes chili powder, mix it all together, pop it in the oven at 400 till it's nice and crispy. Yum.
You could bet that, never gotta sweat that. You could bet that, never gotta sweat that. If you be a cat, I'll be the rubber band. You be the match, I will be a few. Boom, later baby, you could be the muse. I'm the reporter, baby, you could be the news. Cause you're the cigarette, and I'm the smoker. We raise a bet, cause you're the joker, chipped up. You are the chalk, I can be the black boy, you can be the top. I can be the one, yeah, when the sky comes falling, even when the sun don't shine.
But I don't sleep enough without you, and I can't eat enough without you. If you don't speak, does that mean we're through? Don't like sneaky shit that you do.
This latte has 30 grams of protein, tastes like carrot cake, and will do more for you than coffee ever could. Welcome to part 8 of the protein latte series, where I'm sharing latte recipes for each phase of your cycle. Carrots and Brazil nuts are follicular phase superfoods, and you just put everything in a blender and you've got a meal with protein, veggies, and healthy fats. This is best served over ice. It's refreshing and delicious and so good for you.
After my last post, I did a serious deep dive into selenium and selenium toxicity and how much you need every day. Here's what I found. Selenium can help or hurt your thyroid depending on the health of your thyroid and any thyroid condition you may have. If you have a thyroid issue, Brazil nuts can potentially be very dangerous. If you have menstrual irregularities and you're eating 1 Brazil nut a day, go get your thyroid tested. Advocate for yourself and ask for a thyroid panel next time you go to your GP or OB. You need these high protein, 5 ingredient, taste just like the real thing bagels. Welcome to part 1 of cycle snacks, my favorite healthy snack recipes for each phase of your cycle. Yogurt, egg yolk, and carrot are recommended during the follicular phase and give these a nutrient boost. Wheat is also a follicular phase superfood and keeps these tasting just like a bakery bagel. Roll the balls in some everything seasoning, pop them in the oven, and voila. I ate all of these in one sitting and I still feel fantastic after.
Welcome to episode 3 of my cycle syncing series. Today we're going to be chatting all about how to support your body during the follicular phase. I know that cycle syncing can be really overwhelming. It's a lot of information to remember, even for me. So I personally rely on the Berry Wellness app a lot. I fill out my daily journal on there every single morning, and it helps me not only keep track of where I'm at in my cycle, but also how to support my body during that time. It gives you tips for everything from diet to exercise, sleep, mood, sex. It's incredibly helpful whether you're a beginner or a seasoned cycle syncer. So if you want to check it out, just search Berry Wellness on the App Store. So your follicular phase starts as soon as your period ends and lasts until ovulation, and this is usually about 7 to 10 days. This is typically a very enjoyable time to be a woman. Our estrogen is rising, which gives us a boost in our mood and our energy, and our LH is also going up, which boosts our libido. Generally during the follicular phase, we're just feeling more ourselves. So during this time, it's important to eat estrogen supporting foods because our estrogen is going up to prepare for ovulation. And this includes foods like pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, and cruciferous veggies like kale, broccoli, or cauliflower. It's also a great time to focus on protein sources. I focus on plant-based proteins such as lentils, tempeh, and chickpeas, as well as gut health promoting foods such as fermented options like sauerkraut, kombucha, and sourdough bread.
What I eat in a day is cycle syncing to balance my hormones. One thing about me is I will be starting my morning with hot water with lemon and ginger for good digestion. I first headed off to my favorite coffee shop to pick up a London Fog latte with almond milk. I'm in my follicular phase, so I was craving something fresh and light. I made an arugula breakfast salad with 2 soft-boiled eggs. Leafy greens are so good for your follicular phase, especially because it's like your inner spring. Also snuck in a gluten-free, dairy-free lemon loaf because balance. For lunch, I just had my carrot leek soup or skin glow soup I made the other day. Carrots are the main ingredient ingredient of this soup and also incredible for your follicular phase. Cruciferous veggies are also great for this phase, so I made some lemony garlic broccolini for dinner. I used the same marinade on a piece of cod, added some tomatoes and sliced olives. I love olives during my follicular phase. Had everything over a big plate of rice. For dessert, heated up some leftover brownies, my hot water and magnesium, and that was it for the day.
Let's get straight to the point. If you have a menstrual cycle, here are foods that you should be eating during your follicular phase. My name's Maya, I'm a health coach, and I have been cycle syncing for the past month in terms of nutrition, exercise, and lifestyle in general. I do have more intimate style vlogs that I am posting, but this is more for bookmarking if you're in the store and you're shopping. Excess estrogen in your body can cause hormonal imbalances and other health issues, and so you want to be able to metabolize that after you're done bleeding, and so you want to eat foods that are high in protein, in sprouted and fermented foods like kimchi and sauerkraut, and some really good veggies are broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. You also want to incorporate a good amount of healthy fats, which are rich in omega-3 fatty acids like flax seeds, fish, and all of these things I'm going to put on the screen that you can screenshot. And here are some high fiber carbohydrates that I throw into your nutrition to regulate your digestive tract and blood sugar levels in your body. And last but not definitely least, we are going to be low in iron at this time, especially at this time, and so you're going to want to incorporate these iron-rich foods. Now, to me, these foods sound really great all month long, but it's nice to know what phase I'm in and what I can eat to help honor and support my hormones a little bit more.
If cycle syncing isn't real, then why is it that like a week out of the month I feel like this? I just want to yap your ear off. I want to post all my content. I want to ooh, I feel amazing, and I just won't shut up. I want to show my face on stories. I want to call all my friends and say, I haven't seen you in a minute. Let's plan a lunch, please. I want to call my manager and say, let's set up meetings with so and so and so and so 1 week out of the month. And that is why you cycle sync, ladies and gentlemen, because then you're working with your flow and not against your flow. So you need to cycle sync so that way you know, oh, I can't plan a dinner that week because I'm not going to want to go because I already know because I cycle synced. And then if at the moment I don't feel like planning something, but I know that when you're inviting me for that date, I'm going to be in my excited cycle, then I'm going to say, I will be there, babes, because I know I'm going to feel fucking fabulous at that time. When I posted about this on my Instagram, somebody was like, you're making life more difficult. And I would argue that I'm making my life easier because I know how I'm going to feel in the future.
Feeling that post-period energy boost? Here's how to make the most of it. Welcome back to Cycle Syncing Tips for Beginners. This is day 30 of 30 days of you learning how to manage your menstrual, follicular, ovulation, and luteal phase through the power of cycle syncing. I'm so happy that you made it to the end of this series. I will be telling you guys more at the end of this video about what happens next. The follicular phase, right after menstruation, is a time of rising energy and creativity. Take advantage of this energy boost by incorporating light cardio, strength training, or fun workouts. Your metabolism is efficient, so enjoy nutrient-dense meals, lean proteins, and healthy carbs, and lots of veggies to fuel productivity. Experiment with new recipes or foods during this phase when food cravings are low. Also the perfect time to start new projects, set goals, and socialize because your mental focus is sharp. Journaling or planning during the follicular phase helps set a clear foundation for the month. Enjoy activities that spark creativity. Think hobbies, art, and brainstorming new ideas. Your body is primed for growth and action. Use this energy to thrive.
I'm in my follicular phase, which means a refreshing lemony Caesar salad is on the menu tonight. The week after your period is the follicular phase, and this phase is like your inner spring, so fresh foods like romaine lettuce are amazing for this phase, especially since your body's better able to digest raw foods. A Caesar salad with healthy fats is amazing for this phase because of increased insulin sensitivity. Your body's able to metabolize fats more efficiently, which means there's less fat that is stored as extra fat in your body. So in other words, the fat that you eat during this phase is used as energy more efficiently. Even though a lot of people can get bloated from salads, since salads are raw foods and harder to digest by our system, since we are no longer on our period, our body can allocate more energy to digesting these foods. So this is actually a really great phase to strengthen your gut prior to your period again.
Taste test. I could drink that.
Salads are also a great choice on the follicular phase since we get this natural increase in energy from the increase in estrogen, so we don't need as heavy or dense foods to keep us energized throughout the day. I crave this Mexican-inspired Caesar salad every follicular phase, but especially during the summer. It just has an extra freshness to it. And to make it a little healthier, I subbed out French fries for plantain chips with a little guac on the side, and this is just perfection with the salad. The lettuce is refreshing, corn is sweet, dressing is creamy, and then the chickpeas are crispy. Both the chickpeas and shrimp are a little spicy, so this is just the perfect combo of all flavors. So good.
I cycle sync and I just got back from grocery shopping for my follicular phase, so I'm going to show you everything I got and what my fridge looks like and just explain everything. Focus is really light and vibrant foods. You want lots of colors for antioxidants and vitamin C, which is going to support your immune system and reduce inflammation. You're preparing your body for ovulation, so a lot of what you do in this time is going to prepare for that. I share a fridge, so we're just focusing on this side. Choline is high in eggs. That's a crucial nutrient during your follicular phase. It's going to give you a quality egg during ovulation. Other proteins are going to be lean, like chicken breast or trout. Healthy gut is especially important at this time for hormone production, so foods rich in probiotics like pickles, sauerkraut, yogurt. Again, we want a lot of light raw vegetables, so a salad a day is great. String beans are going to help with building estrogen. You want to build estrogen, but you don't want too much that's going to cause PMS. Fiber-rich foods like carrots, raw carrots, and zucchini are going to help with excess estrogen. Healthy fats are great. Vitamin C is highest in red bell peppers, and that's going to help with iron absorption too. Lots of vitamin C rich fruits. You can tell how important this is. Iron absorption, immune system, inflammation, helps produce progesterone and trigger ovulation. Phytoestrogens are extremely important at this time for estrogen production and balance, so pumpkin, flax, and dried fruits. These also contain zinc for ovulation and PMS later in your cycle. And then energy sustaining carbs. I'm actually making a seed cycling energy ball later today. It's going to be cherry macadamia nut. I'm so excited. In general, this is your inner spring, so your metabolism is lower, your energies are starting to rise. A lot of light, lean, fresh foods, a lot of raw vegetables are great. If you want to lose weight, this is the time to do that, or intermittent fast, because your metabolism is lower, you don't need to eat as much, and there's less stress on your body. Let me know if this was helpful, if you guys have any questions.
Make my go-to breakfast as a nutrition coach during my follicular phase. During this phase, I'm focused on fasting and keeping things light. This easy breakfast is full of antioxidants from the blueberries, gut-healthy probiotics from the coconut yogurt, healthy fat and fiber from the almond butter, estrogen balancing capabilities from flax and pumpkin seeds, as well as cinnamon, which helps lower blood sugar. Enjoy!
Don't make it hard or complicated, ladies. This is breakfast. Half of that. I will also have 3 scrambled eggs fried in butter. Don't overcomplicate your meals.
I've been having the zoomies all morning. Like, I've been just so hyper and like filled with energy. I'm in my follicular phase, which is like right after your period, like the 2 weeks right after your period, which you are very energetic. You want to do stuff. And I don't know, maybe I'm just amplified. What's really good around this time is like good carbs, like bread, good sources of wheat though, like not some sort of random bread you find, like good quality shit. I'm gonna make like an egg sandwich. Oh, I love eating cottage cheese. Around this time in your follicular phase, you probably don't have the best metabolism. Your metabolism is faster in your last 2 phases. So all the fiber right now is amazing. All the veggies, the raw vegetables. If you're gluten-free, you can have other carbs, other fibers, potatoes, don't worry. Some avocado mayo, because we're gonna put some tomatoes, and I love tomato and mayo. My tomatoes. We're gonna put a little bit of salt. I'm gonna put 2 slices of turkey. This is the Applegate. You guys know I love that brand for meats. And then the egg. Pat it down so it can stay. The cottage cheese always makes it like fluffy. It's so good. I'm gonna cut it in half. Pew! That looks great. This looks bomb. Protein, carbs, fiber, we got it all. Healthy fats because of the mayo.
I have a new follicular phase recipe for you all this week. So we're going to start by chopping up our zucchini, cut them into halves, set them to the side. We'll saute them in a bit. Then we'll prepare the cold stuff. So you're going to half up some cherry tomatoes, slice up avocado, combine those two things in a bowl together, add some olive oil, salt, pepper, and mix them around. Nice and easy. Also, I was so distracted while cooking this because I'm watching Love Island and just absolutely hooked. After you combine all this, you're going to make the chicken marinade. So you'll finally slice up some shallots and then add that with Greek yogurt, olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic, paprika, and oregano. Once you've mixed that all together, you'll add in your cube chicken, which no one needs to see me prepare that. And then you'll spread it on a pan, bake it in the oven, flipping it halfway through for like 20 or so minutes till it's cooked. Then while that's going, you can prepare some of the other stuff. Slice up your lettuce, saute your zucchini. Once the chicken is done, that's when we assemble. So I do brown rice and quinoa on the side from 7 Grains. Then you'll add your lettuce. You'll then take some hummus, smear that just along the side. It's kind of like a dressing. I mean, it's up to you how much you want to do. Add in the sauteed zucchini. Again, me being distracted by Love Island, but the Australia one is so much raunchier in my opinion. Anyways, then you add in the chicken. You'll come back to that mix you made of the avocado, cherry tomatoes, add that. Top it with a little bit of feta if you want. I fucking love feta. Some naan to just add a little bit of heartiness to the bowl. Some tzatziki, which again, however much you want, it's up to you. And there you go, literally so simple. It's not usually my comfort zone food-wise, but it was so delicious and so easy.
If you don't know what snacks to eat on your follicular phase, listen up. This video is for you. First on the list, we have grapefruit, which are antioxidant and they help to detoxify your liver. I have this about 1 to 3 times a week. Next, we have avocados, which are polyunsaturated fats, which help with hormone balance. I'm new to eating avocados, so I usually will have them with some Cajun seasoning salt, or I'll put them on a crispy hash brown patty. Now, this one is so crazy because it's an ice cream. This brand, 𝒏𝒆, has these 35-calorie poppables, and they have live cultures, and they taste really, really good. But it's good if you want to have a balanced gut health. These little snacks have helped me along my follicular phase journey. I have them, of course, in moderation, and I have already asked my doctor if these are good for me, and they approve. So let me know in the comment section when it's your follicular phase if you try these things and what it does for your body.
I'm ovulating, and I figured, you know what? I'm in a good mood right now. I'm going to share with you guys more about ovulation because I won't lie. The first 1.5 years that I was off of hormonal birth control, I really didn't know about ovulation. I didn't know that you could track it. I didn't know how to track it. I didn't know anything about it. I just knew that, like, that's when the egg drops, and that was about it. So I want to just like educate you guys a little bit more and also show you guys how I track my ovulation. Welcome to the School of Soph. Ovulation marks the midway point of your cycle. Everyone ovulates at different times. You may ovulate a little bit earlier. You may ovulate on day 14. You may ovulate a little bit later. That's why keeping track of it is so important, but you only ovulate once a month. Highly unlikely that you ovulate more than once a month. Like very, very highly unlikely, but like I said, you can ovulate a little bit earlier or later than expected. But this is simply as possible. Ovulation is basically when one of your mature eggs drops and it chills out there for 12 to 24 hours, sometimes up to 48 hours, but usually it's in the 12 to 24 hour window that it's strongest. It chills there, waits for a sperm to come and fertilize it. If you're using protection or not having sex and it doesn't get fertilized, then that's when the egg kind of dissolves or dies out. Your uterine lining sheds, which is your period, and then your cycle restarts. Now, if it does get fertilized and you are pregnant, that is when you miss your period. You can drop more than one egg. Say you drop 2 eggs and they both get fertilized, those are fraternal twins. If you drop 1 egg, it gets fertilized and it splits into 2, those are identical twins. It's kind of fucking awesome. I literally love the female body, like we are the shit. I'm gonna show you guys how I track my ovulation. You guys know that I have an Oura ring and I also use Natural Cycles to track every single bit of my cycle, and I get these ovulation tests from Natural Cycles. You can also get them from Amazon. Ovulation tests are actually really cool. I don't know if you guys remember when you were a kid in school and you did the little pH test to see if it was like acidic or basic or something. This is kind of the same thing, except you dip it in your pee. Basically, what an ovulation test measures is a spike in a hormone called the luteinizing hormone, aka an LH spike. The luteinizing hormone will spike around 24 to 48 hours before your egg actually drops. LH spike window kind of differs for everybody. A lot of research says like 12 to 48 hours. It's on average like 36 hours before your egg is going to be dropping. That is when your LH is spiking. Really cool to keep track of multiple tests and kind of see when the LH peaks and spikes, and then when it goes back down. I'm actually gonna, let me just show you guys a screenshot. Okay, here's 5 days of me testing for ovulation. Natural Cycles app will notify me and be like, hey, you're ovulating soon, make sure to test for ovulation. Now you can see the difference in all the lines here on which ones are positive and which ones are negative. Now in order for it to be positive, it has to be 2 very harsh lines, not 1 harsh line and 1 faint line. You can tell the difference between day 4 in the morning and in the evening. You can see the morning one is obviously clearly positive, the evening is not positive. On top of testing for your ovulation through LH strips, the way to confirm ovulation is through a rise in your basal body temperature. As you know, if you track your cycle, you measure your BBT every single morning. That is why I have the Aura Ring. It automatically connects to Natural Cycles. This measures my BBT every single morning and automatically will upload that information to my Natural Cycles app. You can also use a basal thermometer or whatever works easiest, because I know that an Aura Ring is obviously super pricey. Now, in order to confirm ovulation, you will see a rise in your basal body temperature, but not like a massive rise, like 1 degree and less. It's going to be a very slight increase in your BBT, which you'll see when you track that every single day. Sometimes takes a few days for the Natural Cycles app to confirm ovulation because it needs to see a steady rise in ovulation before it confirms it. But if you're testing for LH as well as other physical indicators that your body's giving you that you're ovulating, you should be able to know that you probably already ovulated. Other physical indicators that I experience, this may not be the same for everything, is 1, cervical mucus, which is different than discharge, but aka discharge literally flows out of me. I'm not even kidding you. I don't deal with discharge anymore because I don't wear underwear anymore, which helped a ton with just like everyday discharge. But I have the craziest cervical mucus. Like it literally feels like a tsunami coming out of me. Which if you have cervical mucus that flows out of you, that means you're fertile. So that's like an indicator that you're ovulating. It really depends on who you are and your cycle and everything like that. Some people are absolutely at their peak with ovulation, which essentially is what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be feeling your best, high energy, clear skin, more symmetrical face, feeling less inflamed, feeling more outgoing and sociable, because that is your biological blueprint basically pushing you to conceive. You guys, it's just so cool when you think about all this stuff. You're like me and your ovulation is painful. I have middle schmers, which sucks. It really does, but it's kind of like a form of birth control in itself. So I get like kind of painful experiences during my ovulation. Nothing debilitating, but I'm like, ooh, I feel it. So sharp little stabbing pains in the side, depending on which side that I'm ovulating from. Sometimes I'll break out a little bit. I will feel sometimes just a little bit more tired, crampy, and I have spotted like very light brown before, which is normal. Another thing you can do to track ovulation, which don't quote me on this, but measuring your cervix, because the length of your cervix can shift slightly depending on where you're at in your cycle. I don't do that. I know some people do, so if you do, definitely let me know. That's it. I hope that you guys learned a little bit of something. I know I just like word vomited on you. This is like what I fucking geek out about. But let me know if you guys have any questions. Honestly, I hope if anything that this makes you love your body even more, because the shit that we go through every single day, our hormones change every single day, you guys, and it's incredible. Like, the female body is magical and wonderful and fucking cool. Like, we are literally awesome. The shit that our body does, men could never.
One thing about me is that I'm in my cycle syncing era. I'm not an expert, but I've noticed so many benefits to aligning my nutrition with each phase in my cycle. So we're gonna go through some of my favorite ovulatory phase snacks. For nuts and seeds, I like to have pumpkin seeds and pistachios. I also like to eat flax seeds and pecans, but I already had those in my pantry, so I just went with these two. Two of the fruits that I like to snack on or add to my smoothies are apricots and figs. Coconut is another ovulatory phase-friendly food. I love to dip these coconut chips in chocolate, or sometimes I'll just mix them up with the nuts and seeds that I mentioned earlier and turn it into like a little trail mix. And then I'll add my coconut cream to my blizzards and frosties. For my greens and legumes, I like to eat red lentils and quinoa. I'm actually embarrassed to show you how many of these I ordered. This is my favorite pre-made quinoa, and it saves so much time when I'm making dinner. I actually have a problem. For my teas, I like to have roasted dandelion root and ginger and turmeric tea. I get these staples from Thrive Market because I can have a different shopping list for each phase of my cycle, and it just makes it so much easier to order it all online. Let me know if you also want to see hauls for the other phases, but this is such an easy way to simplify shopping for your cycle.
If you're trying to support your hormones and feel your best, eat this during your ovulation phase. It's super simple, super delicious. I'm going to show you how to make it.
And before you're like, oh, but I'm not trying to conceive, this doesn't apply to me, healthy ovulation isn't just about conception. It's so important to the health of the whole rest of your cycle and your hormone function, because everything's so connected. Some of the most important nutrients for healthy ovulation are B6, B12, and folate, which are mostly found in like fish, organ meats, and animal protein, but also in cruciferous vegetables, leafy greens, and some grains and legumes. Another important nutritional focus for this phase is helping your body to detox excess estrogen and testosterone because they're at their highest during this part of your cycle. And many of us have an estrogen dominance, so they can actually get too high during this phase and it can cause some problems in other areas. A simple way to do this is to eat lots of fiber in the form of fresh vegetables. That's going to produce glutathione, which is going to support your liver in its detoxification process. On top of that, adding extra probiotics to your diet in the form of fermented foods like sauerkraut, yogurt, kefir, etc. is going to support the healthy bacteria in your gut, which will help the elimination process of everything your liver is detoxing. That can be as simple as adding a little yogurt dressing or sauerkraut on top of a meal. Next up is healthy fats. This can take the form of a fatty fish. This is mahi-mahi, which is like mediumly fatty, but think like sardines, salmon, etc., or eggs, olive oil, avocado. Those fats are going to give you the energetic support that you need for the intense process of producing and releasing an egg, as well as helping you process the other nutrients your body needs. Minerals to focus on during this time are magnesium and zinc, as that's going to help your progesterone production. Progesterone is low right now, and those can be found in a lot of things like whole grains and fiber. So the brown rice in this meal is going to give you a lot of zinc and magnesium, but it doesn't even have to be that complicated. Overall, just focus on fresh, light, raw foods and take advantage of your increased energy by eating nutrient-dense choices that won't weigh you down.
If you're ovulating and you're craving brownies, I have the answer. I'm Alex. I'm sharing recipes for each day of your cycle, and these rich chocolatey brownies are free of grains and refined sugar, but you would never know. Almonds, figs, coconut, chocolate, and pistachio are recommended foods during ovulation. The figs give these the perfect sweetness, and the almond flour makes them so fudgy. The salty pistachio butter is the perfect finishing touch. These are better than the real thing.
I stopped using birth control about 2 years ago. At the same time, I started eating papaya, including the seeds. In natural Indian medicine, they often use papaya seeds as a natural form of inducing your period and using it for unwanted pregnancies, since the seeds are too strong for fertilization. It's not a birth control, but it's a good tip if you're ever scared. Aside from that, papaya is very high in vitamin C. If you are deficient in vitamin C, it is what causes mood swings and stress. Papaya helps restore hormonal balance, help cramps, aid digestion, and bloating. This is my de-bloating smoothie. I put the papaya seeds, pineapple, ginger, half a banana, blueberries, wild blueberries, 1 to 2 dates for sweetness, and organic whole milk. I also put my favorite protein, and you don't even taste the papaya seeds. This is a great hormone-friendly and digestion-friendly smoothie. I hope you try this and papayas out.
If you're ovulating, make this 3-ingredient healthy dessert. Chocolate and raspberries support your body during ovulation, and these really couldn't be easier. You just dunk raspberries in melted white chocolate, freeze for a few minutes, and then dunk them in dark chocolate and freeze again. These are so delicious. Store these for up to a week in the freezer, but I promise they won't last longer than a day.
We can collectively agree that ovulation pain is annoying because you're not anticipating it. So let's talk about how to micromanage ovulation pain.
Grab your notebook because we got to take some notes. Go ahead and screenshot this. Make sure you save the video. Now let's talk details. Okay, so we've got our coconut water, and we're starting off with proper hydration because you need to be hydrated. Coconut water is a great source of potassium as well as magnesium, which you know can help your body feel better and really micromanage any cramping. From there, I want you to choose one of the following teas: red raspberry leaf, red clover, or a hibiscus tea situation. All of these are going to help decrease inflammation in the body, decrease prostaglandin levels associated with cramping, because often a lot of ovulation pain is cramp related. I'm a big fan of red raspberry leaf, but recently I've been obsessed with hibiscus because of how it supports the liver, okay? From there, you then want to find something that's going to help you micromanage the pain in like the short term, like kind of quicker relief. I will leave my favorite like ovulation pain relief supplement linked below. Yes, you can find it in TikTok shop. It's clinically studied. I adore it, okay? From there,
You're gonna get into the nutrition, which I'm sure you're already doing, but let me just reiterate. Protein, healthy fat, and fiber, game changing. Eating in sync with your cycle, game changing. Let me know if you want an entire grocery list because I could actually break this down so much more. Lastly, nervous system regulation. I feel like a lot of people think that nervous system regulation is all like, let's be deep, wonderful, and spiritual. And like, yes, that's all well and good, but also we can do like a little fertility massage. We can also do some acupressure points and kind of massaging our stomachs. Ooh, like here, massaging that area, your ovaries, literally game changing. So I hope this has been supportive. If it has, let me know in the comments. As always, love you, mean it.
Ovulation only lasts 1 or 2 days, so I usually miss it, but here's what I ate this month. Think light but nourishing summer foods. So I had an egg for breakfast with lots of veggies, sauerkraut on there for probiotics, and those seeds, cycling sunflower seeds. I toasted them, extra delicious. Smoothie is perfect for lunch because it won't sap any of your extra energy. Because it's light, I added sesame seeds, spirulina, and greens to this one. For dinner, wild-caught salmon is the ultimate protein of choice, but we're balling on a budget over here, so I did a little Mexican rice and chicken situation with lots of vegetables, and I will be posting recipes ASAP.
If you're trying to conceive and ovulation strips aren't working for you, this could be why. You may not be ovulating every single month. And ovulation is very much a thing in today's day and age with conditions like PCOS on the rise. But this doesn't necessarily mean that you're not ovulating at all. So do not get discouraged by this. But how can we confirm that we're actually ovulating? I recommend observing your cervical mucus. As soon as you see that watery, slippery, stretchy cervical mucus resembling egg whites, that is your body signaling to you that you're about to ovulate. And it's game time, honey. And if you want to double confirm that you're about to ovulate, this is when I would start using the ovulation strips. As soon as you notice this change in your cervical mucus, this will save you a lot of money. But to confirm that ovulation has actually occurred, you want to be tracking your basal body temperature throughout your entire cycle. I know there are some gadgets like the Oura Ring that do this automatically for you, or you can get yourself a basal body thermometer that measures temperature up to 2 decimal points. And what you're looking for when you're tracking your basal body temperature, the rise in temperature of about 0.5 to 1 degree Fahrenheit or 0.3 to 0.6 degrees Celsius. And it should remain elevated for the remainder of the menstrual cycle until you start to bleed. That's how you know that ovulation has occurred.
Meal prep with me for our ovulatory phase. I like to refer to this as your inner summer. It's usually days 14 to 18 of your cycle, and this is where you're going to be feeling most powerful, beautiful, and sexy. So plan a date night, go out with friends. This is also a time where you can engage in more high intensity interval training because of the energy that you'll have. Fruits, you want to focus on fruits that are higher in vitamin C. This can help promote more progesterone, which is key to healthy ovulation.
Okay, this is the coolest thing ever. When we eat food, our gut receptors actually send messages up to our pituitary gland and hypothalamus to tell your brain if you are intaking enough calories to turn ovulation on. Like, how amazing is that? Your gut is talking to your brain saying, this person is not eating enough calories. It is not safe to be ovulating because we don't want to risk a pregnancy. You need to limit your hormonal pathway down to the ovaries and turn ovulation off. So the research actually shows it's about 2,500 calories on average that a female would need to eat to be having healthy ovulation, where that ovulation switch is always turned on. Obviously, that's different for everyone. I'm nearly 6'1", 2,500 calories is easy. It's a cakewalk for me. However, maybe someone who's a little bit shorter, 2,500 calories might be actually overdoing it. But the average was that number in the research.
This latte has 30 grams of protein, tastes like chocolate cake, and will do more for you than coffee ever could. Welcome to part 9 of the Protein Latte series, where I share latte recipes for each phase of your cycle. Cacao and coconut are ovulatory phase superfoods, and you just pour hot coconut milk over the rest of the ingredients and mix well. This one is best served hot. It tastes like a coconutty, chocolatey dream, and it is so good for you.
Is anyone else like obsessed with their husband?
I was ovulating. Why are my Fiesta potatoes so crunchy?
Here are all my tips and tricks that have helped me to reduce my PMS symptoms in my luteal phase and not actually dread this time of the month. So in this phase of our cycle, our resting cortisol is naturally higher, we're less resilient to stress, our blood sugar is more dysregulated, and our dominant hormone is progesterone, which we literally want to bottle up and spray all over ourselves as it acts as a natural anti-anxiety hormone. And what we need to remember is stress steals our lovely calming hormone progesterone. So in this phase, it is so important to reduce stress and eat, live and move in a way that really supports what's going on with your hormones in this phase rather than fighting against it. Number one, this has literally been a game changer for me. Since reducing the intensity of my exercise in this phase, I noticed that I'm a lot less on edge, irritable and just anxious. Really intense workouts are going to be a stress on the body and it's going to steal our progesterone. However, more gentle movements like Pilates, long walks, low impact workouts, stretching, yoga are still going to give you those endorphins and feel-good hormones, but just not as stressful on the body. I think we could all do with a little bit more self-care and attention to our needs in this phase. So what is it that you actually need? Do you need more sleep? Do you want to go more inwards? Do you want to stay at home? Maybe that means setting clear boundaries. You may notice that you have some self-doubt or insecurities creeping in. You know, that voice inside your head that sometimes you can't control. Maybe you want to take some time to understand and get clear on why you're feeling this way. Number 3, I like to enjoy this time to just slow everything down. Take a softer approach to everything that I do. Instead of being so go, go, go and do, I'm just here. I'm just me, connecting with myself and just tapping into that feminine energy. Number 4, I reduce my caffeine, so instead of matchas, I'll have more soothing teas. If you are someone who drinks coffee, maybe switch to matcha or decaf, as caffeine can raise our cortisol levels. I'm sure you're all aware of those premenstrual cravings. Well, they're there for a reason because our metabolism ramps up around 5 to 10%, which means we naturally burn more calories. Respect those cravings, that hunger, because being hungry will only trigger your stress hormones. And because of this reason, you're going to want to focus on your complex carbs, so sweet potato, quinoa, brown rice, as this will help with energy levels, mood, cravings, and help to stabilize blood sugar. Again, we don't want to be going hangry, and going long periods without eating will completely throw our blood sugar levels off, which can lead to energy crashes, unstable moods, and even more cravings. Eating your greens for any of my girlies that get constipated, this will help with quality bowel movement and digestion. Studies suggest that vitamin B6 helps with the production of progesterone, so I like to make a lovely chickpea salad, and I didn't need any more excuse to eat more dark chocolate, but magnesium helps fight fatigue and can offer stress support. And finally, your period is like your monthly report card, so get in tune with your own patterns, your own symptoms, figure out if there's anything that triggers your PMS symptoms, and know exactly what you need in this phase to best support your body.
Laura's coochie is about to bleed all over the trailer again, so I cooked her this Thai noodle dish she's been begging me to make. Laura's currently in her luteal phase, so I'm surprised she even let me make eye contact with her today. During this phase of the coochie cycle, her body's getting ready to host squid games inside her womb, so it's a time for beauty sleep and her favorite self-care routine. Men, you might want to put any fancy date ideas on hold. There's no amount of risk to keep your girl from using the Notes app to write down every wrong move you make that week. Today I made sure to throw in carrots and broccoli since these veggies are well known to provide support during the luteal phase. Anyway, here's the dish, which was one of our favorites despite it looking like a box TV dinner.
So I just had a thought. You know that feeling right before your period starts when you feel like you kind of want to like off yourself a little bit? I wonder how many people accidentally like did it. You know? Because like when your period starts and you be like, "Oh, woo, okay, that actually explains all of those feelings that I was having." But like those people that like didn't wait for that like, "Woo," you know? Is that dark? I'm sorry, I'm about to start my period.
If you eat more magnesium-rich foods before your period, you're going to have more energy and less cramps. But if you incorporate more water and more fiber, you're going to have less constipation, less bloat, and limit your cravings. So if you add in more magnesium, more water, and more fiber, you're going to get more energy. You're going to have less cramps. You're going to limit your bloating and constipation, and you're going to have less cravings. But if you add in some iron-rich foods, you're going to have a lighter flow. So if you add in more magnesium, more water, more fiber, more iron, you're going to have more energy. You're going to have less cramps. You're going to have less constipation and bloat and limit your cravings. And you're going to have a lighter flow. But if you add in some vitamin C rich foods, you're going to absorb these minerals so much better. So again, if you add in some magnesium, some water, some fiber, some iron, some vitamin C rich foods, you're going to have more energy. You're going to have less cramps, limit your constipation and bloat, have less cravings. You're going to have a lighter period, and you're going to absorb everything much better. But if you add in omega-3s, you're going to have less inflammation. So again, if you add in more magnesium, more water, more fiber, more iron, more vitamin C rich foods, and more omega-3 fatty acids, you're going to get more energy. Stop moving, please. You're going to have less cramps. You're going to limit your constipation, and you're going to have less bloating and less cravings. You're going to have a lighter period. You're going to absorb these all much better, and you're going to have less inflammation. And if you give yourself at least 3 months of doing this, your monthly report card is going to come back 1,000,000 times better. Hope this helped.
This is the best way I can describe what it's like to be in your luteal phase. Okay, but let's run it back real quick. Day 1 of your cycle is when you start your period. It's also day 1 of your follicular phase. They start the same day. Then when you're done with your period, you're in the thick of your follicular phase. You are quite literally on top of the fucking world. You're frolicking the streets naked because you feel that goddamn good. Your energy levels are high and stable. Your mental health is probably a lot better. You're lifting heavy at the gym. You're PRing. You might feel a little bit leaner during this time. Your face is more symmetrical. Your skin is glowing. You're going to be more horny. I mean, I wish I was joking. Look up the research. It's there. You feel incredible. I wish that it was like this 24/7. And then you ovulate, which when you ovulate, it's also the same day that you start your luteal phase, which is the second half of your cycle. Now, some people still feel amazing when they ovulate. They have those after effects of the follicular phase. They're still glowing. They feel amazing. Some people feel like shit during ovulation, like me. It's giving middle schmers. Okay, it's self-diagnosable. I diagnose myself with middle schmers. It sucks. Like, I have really bad ovulation pain. Anyways, once you ovulate, then you start to go on this rapid fucking decline all the way down there really quick. That is your luteal phase. That is the fucking thick of it. Let's talk about it. Different things you might feel during your luteal phase. You might feel way more anxious. You might have more depressive thoughts. You're probably going to be way more sensitive during this time. Like, easily triggered as well. That's me. My irritability through the roof. My fuse is this big. It's non-existent. I'm very quick to go to the jugular. God bless my boyfriend. Okay? But you're probably more sensitive to critical comments. You're more sensitive to all the shit you see on social media. You might be a little bit more hungry during this time because your metabolism speeds up a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. And also you have a drop in serotonin levels, which is probably why you're craving more carbs, because carbs can produce serotonin. It's fucking incredible. Now, if you experience any PMS symptoms, now's the time you're going to experience it. If you get migraines, if you get bloated or inflammation, if you're cramping, that's what's going to happen during this time. You are also going to feel way more fatigued and way more tired. And the best way that I can describe it, like if there's one word to describe, it's depleted. Depleted. You just feel fucking depleted. You're over it. You want it to end. Then you start your period, and thus starts the cycle again, okay? Now, as you can tell, I'm in the thick of my luteal phase right now, but knowing all this information significantly helps my mental health, because I'm not sitting here being like, why do I have no energy? Why am I not lifting the same weight at the gym? Why am I so fucking hungry? I must be doing something wrong with my health and fitness journey. No. It's your cycle. It's your hormones. Hello? Your hormones affect everything, sis. Quite literally everything. And your hormones are changing every single fucking day. Once you learn about the female cycle, it will literally change everything, and everything just starts to make sense.
Knowledge is power.
Seize him. Cut his throat. Stop. Wait. I've changed my mind. Let him go. Step back 3 paces. Turn around. Close your eyes. Power is power.
I can't be the only one who loves my luteal phase. Hear me out. When your body's in balance, your luteal phase can actually be a really wonderful phase to be in. If you're not familiar with your luteal phase, it is the phase that lasts from ovulation until menstruation, and it is the longest phase. It is also the phase that most people experience PMS and bloating and moodiness and all those great things. But this is only true if your body is not in balance, and I'm going to tell you how to balance it. When people experience PMS, it is because they typically have estrogen dominance, and this is pretty common because we live in an estrogen-dominated world. However, your progesterone should be taking the star of the show during this phase, and when your progesterone is where it's supposed to be at, your luteal phase will be smooth sailing. Your progesterone is actually a really sweet chemical in your body, which is your calm and cool chemical. It makes you cuddly, and it makes you very task-oriented. So how do we support our luteal phase? You want to be eating cruciferous vegetables, which are going to be supporting your liver and detoxifying out excess estrogen. Eating foods high in lignans is actually super supportive during your luteal phase because the lignans help to bind to excess estrogen in the body and process them out. So thinking seeds like sunflower and sesame seeds are great options, but you can even include flax seeds during this phase because they can help to either raise estrogen in the body or to lower estrogen in the body, meeting your body where it's at. Herbs like chaste tree berry or vitex helps to raise your body's natural progesterone production, which is amazing because this helps to combat estrogen dominance. Your metabolism raises during this phase, which is really important to be paying attention to because you're going to be extra hungry, so honor your body because your body's working extra hard to build that lining and shed it come menstruation, so just make sure that you're fueling your body. Likewise, because your metabolism is higher, you should not be over-exercising or pushing your body too hard during this phase because this will put further stress on your body. Since your metabolism is higher and you need more calories, expending more energy is not beneficial and will actually put your body in fight or flight, which can raise moodiness and put your brain chemicals all wonky, which is what we don't want. This can cause you to bloat and hold on to extra water and just make you feel really gross during your luteal phase, which is what we don't want. So my key takeaways are to find ways to calm your body and to find a state of rest and digest to support your body with cruciferous vegetables to make sure that you are flushing out at that excess estrogen, supporting your body with lignans like found in nuts and seeds like flax seeds, and then also making sure that you are taking herbs such as vitex that can help with progesterone production. Your body waxes and wanes and it's supposed to look different during each phase, so don't be too hard on yourself if you do feel bloated or if you're not feeling like the fullest version of yourself during this phase. We all go through seasons. You're still beautiful no matter what, and I love you.
Eating debloating foods has really helped me feel less bloated on my luteal phase. This actually quick tuna lunch is so easy to put together. Even though bloating is normal on our luteal phase, there can come a point where it feels too uncomfortable. 2 foods that are great for debloating are cucumber and celery. They're both high in water, so they can prevent dehydration-based bloating. Cucumber is also a diuretic, so it can help flush out excess water from your body. On your luteal phase, your metabolism is faster, so that means you're hungrier. Eating this whole can of tuna is 33 grams of protein. This lunch is high protein, filling, blood sugar balancing. It'll keep your cravings at bay so that you don't eat foods that will bloat you.
Oh my jeez. Damn, this is not good.
If I were president, I would literally make it a law that women are not allowed to look at themselves in the mirror during their luteal phase. I am a completely different person a few days before my period. My face is like so puffy. My jaw feels like it's gonna fall off. My stomach, I ate a piece of toast and some eggs today and a yogurt, and I literally look like I'm about to give birth. I don't get it. I'm drinking my water, I'm doing all the things, I'm nourishing my body, I got 9 hours of sleep, like I ice rolled this morning, I did my gua sha, and it's so messed up, and it sucks that as women, our body image and the way that you feel about yourself affects things that have nothing to do with your physical appearance and just like how you move through the day in your day-to-day life when you don't feel good about yourself. It sucks. Like, I hate that this is something that I feel. And I get like this every time. When I'm a few days away from my period, like clockwork, I feel like a different person. Like, I feel like a troll. Like a literal toad that just crawled out of the earth. I swear, like, your face changes. Like, you look uglier. And it's so messed up. I don't even recognize myself sometimes. And I know some of you people are going to think I'm Delulu. And I probably am. But hormones are no joke. And Men have it so easy. Like, my husband wakes up every day and he looks the same. What's that like?
If it's the week before your period, you need to try this 3-ingredient pumpkin spice. I'm sharing recipes for each phase of your cycle, and this will make your lattes taste better than Starbucks. It's free from refined sugars and artificial flavors, and it's made with only pumpkin, dates, and spices. All recommended foods for your luteal phase. This stuff is so good, I eat it by the spoonful, and it's amazing on yogurt, ice cream, apples, and of course in lattes.
PSA, if you're someone who ovulates and also has ADHD, that your ADHD symptoms will likely get worse during your luteal phase, which is something I literally always forget, especially this past week. Every day I've been like, have I forgotten to take my meds or something? What's happening?
I hate that you can't see my damn jewelry with this fucking shirt on!
Like, it's supposed to be like that.
Luteal phase is the longest phase that you have. It's leading up to your period. It's when girls are the most prone to overthinking. It's when the boyfriend's like, she's overthinking everything I say. Like, I can do nothing right. That is the phase that girls like. That's crazy. That is like the encapsulation of like PMS. Is like, I'm overthinking, and your progesterone is on the rise. So your estrogen has gone down, your progesterone is on the rise. So that's what's happening to your hormones. And you just feel tired, and you are bloated, and you're craving chocolate and like all this stuff.
Who are you playing with, sweetie?
Amanda.
Huh? Oh, who are you?
I'm Amanda. I'm 6.
Let me tell you something. Working out during your luteal phase will always separate you from the rest of the pack, because it's a crazy, crazy time for a woman. I was in there lifting weights that felt way too heavy, weights that I usually lift. I was in the gym thinking about French toast fried hard with extra toppings. I never even had French toast fried hard, but you know, like the double batter with something sweet on the side. Then it's like I felt so bloated, like just everything was just pooling out of my leggings. Like, that's how big I felt, even though I'm not that big. And I just sat there like, I'm not gonna make it, and I made it. Right now, I just think I'm ugly and everybody hates me. I don't feel hot. But am I gonna do it again next month and I'm gonna be a warrior? Absolutely, because I'm a woman, and being a woman is a superpower within itself.
God, she's so pretty. What are you looking at? I said, what are you looking at? A picture of me, but from last week. Back when I was pretty.
I just had the most girl boss Sunday in the books, baby. I'm gonna show you guys everything that I just meal prepped for week 1 of my luteal phase. And it's a lot of stuff. First thing is my ginger apple cider vinegar lemon shots that I take every single morning right when I wake up. These have helped so much with like my appetite and like cravings and stuff. Like, I am able to like go throughout the day like without having like sugar cravings or anything. And I used to get really, really bad cravings. Also, the ginger, apple cider vinegar, and lemon is great for your gut health, for your skin, and the ginger is anti-inflammatory, so it can help with like period cramps as well. And I take these every week, like throughout my whole menstrual cycle, but especially this week, they're really important. Next thing, this isn't really luteal phase specific, but it does have some benefits as well. These are my breakfast sandwiches. I just made the recipe. I posted on my YouTube channel yesterday, but it's an Ezekiel bread, English muffin, American cheese, a turkey sausage patty, and then like a little egg, spinach, and like red pepper thing. And then I have some avocado on the side that I'm gonna put on it once I like microwave it up. But I make these on the weekends, put them in the freezer, and you got breakfast for the week. And avocado and eggs are really great on your luteal phase because of the healthy fats. On your luteal phase, it's important to increase healthy fats, protein, omega-3s, and magnesium. That's usually what I focus on. And this has all that. Next is one of my favorite things ever, my chia seed pudding. It looks kind of weird right now. I just made this, but it's just chia seeds, coconut milk. I have a recipe on my page, but I just like put a bunch of toppings on it. It's literally like a chocolate ice cream dessert. It's so good. And chia seeds have a ton of healthy fats, omega-3s, and protein. Really, really great for you in your luteal phase and when you're on your period. So I'm gonna eat this week for a little dessert. But actually, you could also eat this for breakfast too. Speaking of desserts, you guys know my famous oat balls. The recipe for these is also on my YouTube channel, but these are amazing. I make these every luteal phase, so every 2 weeks. This has oats, peanut butter, honey, walnuts, dark chocolate, which is great on your period with antioxidants stuff. If you're gonna eat chocolate, try to eat a dark chocolate. And the walnuts in here are great because they have magnesium in them, which helps to relieve period cramps. I keep these in the freezer and I have like 2 every night after dinner, and these are so delicious and like so healthy because during your luteal phase, you actually burn about 300 more calories a day because your metabolism picks up, and that's why you get like those cravings and like more hunger. So it's important, instead of like resisting your hunger, you feed your hunger, but with good, sweet little treats that'll satisfy your craving, but it's also so healthy for you. If I could recommend one thing from this video to make, it's these. Next for my lunch, this isn't really luteal phase specific either. This is what I eat like every single week, but I have basmati rice, the lemon pepper chicken from Trader Joe's, and then I did spinach, which is really good on your period because it has iron in it. And I did the colorful carrots mixture that's like in the frozen section at Trader Joe's, and it's so cute. I love it. Lastly, I cooked up a salmon for my dinners of the week, and I'm gonna eat that with a sweet potato. And salmon is amazing for your luteal phase, healthy fats, omega-3s, protein. So good. I eat salmon for dinner every 2 weeks on my luteal phase, and that's everything that I meal prep. So I hope this helped you guys.
I'm not ashamed to admit it. It's hell in there. It's horror. You have to be a certain type of person to survive.
I'm in my late luteal phase and I have been eating like a tiny piglet. I have been ravenous these last like 5 days, I would say. I cannot stop eating, and I've been eating big, satiating meals, snacks, everything. Good protein, good nutrients. Like, I'm not eating. So I don't know what the deal is, and I haven't done anything different. If anything, I've scaled back on my workouts and I've only been walking, and I am starving. So this is your sign. If you're in your luteal phase or you're on your period and you feel like a hungry little bitch, eat. Listen to your body. Don't starve yourself. Be kind to yourself and listen to your body, because your body knows best.
This is a meal that I make the week before my period, which is also called your luteal phase. Get rid of endometriosis, PCOS. It should literally relieve almost all of your cramping. Avocado oil. It's probably not a good idea to cook in white. Primal ground beef. It just means it has heart and liver in it. You don't taste it, and organs is really good for you at this time. So if you can get it mixed in with ground beef, win-win. 4 ounces of this into here. The siete taco seasoning in there. Red onion. Cassava flour tortillas. Cassava flour is the best gluten-free flour you can get. All the potato flours, rice flours are bad for your gut. Cut up avocado, and then I'll put red meat. Is like such good iron. Avocado is really good fats.
Please explain.
Please follow.
We need to know, I think it's more important when you guys are on your luteal phase than you are on your periods, because when you're on your fucking luteal phase,
That's the danger zone.
That's the danger
That's
zone.
the danger zone.
And we get yelled at
Yeah.
for minimal shit.
For just being alive. For just being in the house.
I will walk into the kitchen, I'll get...
Yeah. Literally, I would come home and I just get side-eye the whole time.
And that's because this phase right here, which is right before this phase. So I think it's important we know this. So when you're on this phase, initial...
I threw plastic at Marie's face and she cried.
I'm feeling the need to put out a little reminder right now for all my girls who are in their luteal phase right now and maybe not having the easiest time. Maybe it's bloating, water retention, mental health kind of going like that. You're probably being really hard on yourself right now. Please, whatever you do, do not restrict carbs. Carbs get such a bad rep in our day and age in our society. Also, not everything that applies to men applies to women. Everything that applies to postmenopausal women applies to premenopausal or perimenopausal women. Complex carbohydrates, so things like whole grains, rice, sweet potatoes, oats, fruits, legumes, starchy veggies. These foods raise serotonin levels. They help balance cortisol, which is so important in this half of your cycle. They also support progesterone, which is the hormone that's supposed to be higher in this half of the cycle, so there's not like an imbalance with estrogen. They help us create thyroid hormones. They help us regulate our HPA axis, which is so important for reproductive health, our stress levels, our energy, and our mental health. Help with water retention at this time. Obviously, eat them in moderation with proteins and fats, but do not be scared of them. So many women also undereat during this time, and it really does exacerbate symptoms. Bodies actually need like 100 to 300 more calories to function in this half of our cycle.